Okay, that number is slowing down, so I will get started. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the webinar for small businesses. I'm Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan, and it is so fun to be here with my friend and colleague, Treasurer Fiona Ma, to present this webinar to all of you. Welcome, Treasurer.
Thank you. Thank you, Assemblymember Kahan. Thank you for your leadership. I also want to recognize your District Director, Sean Kumaji, and also your Deputy District Director, Marilyn Cachola Lucy, who were both instrumental in making today happen. I have been doing over 100 similar type webinars since the pandemic started, really to inform and raise awareness and bring forward the federal, state, local, and even private resources that are available to small businesses. We know that small businesses are struggling during this time, and there's a lot of confusion out there. And sometimes when folks apply, the money is no longer there, yet they're waiting for some check or stimulus. So hopefully today we will be able to assist you better. And we've got 3 programs that we are going to be presenting as well. My CALCAP for Small Business is a program that provides a loan loss reserve to financial institutions so that they would be incentivized to loan to harder to loan constituents. So we're kind of like the lenders of last resort. So we will talk a little bit about how you can access some of these lenders. And even if other financial institutions have turned you down, please look at us to see whether we could provide that loan for you. Also, our Go Green Financing Program under my California Alternative Energy and Advanced Transportation Financing Authority is really here to help small businesses green during these times to make them more energy efficient. And there are certain programs like HVAC, windows, and other incentives that are out there during this time. And then our last one is Cal Savers. For those employers who do not offer a pension plan to their employees, if you have 5 or more employees, you will eventually have to register your employees with our Cal Savers program. It will be professionally managed. These accounts stay with your employees, and after you upload your roster with us, you will no longer have any financial or legal obligation for these accounts. Again, they stay with the employee and professionally managed by our Cal Savers team. So also during this time, my external affairs team has pivoted to creating COVID-19 resource guides. These guides are updated on a real-time basis. So as new programs come online, like yesterday, the legislature and the governor came up with a new plan. So thank you very much. And more assistance is going to be coming to small businesses. And so as they come online, we upload them onto one of our resource guides, and we encourage you to keep track, log on to that, and that can be found on my website at www.treasure.ca.gov. There are 2 buttons. One is the official COVID-19 resource guides, and then the other one is my COVID-19, one is the state's email, and then one is my COVID-19 resource guides. And if there are any questions that you had today that we did not answer, or you are having difficulty accessing your unemployment insurance, you didn't get your stimulus check, or some people got their prepaid card and threw it away, they don't know what to do now, please feel free to email us at askfiona@treasure.ca.gov, and Noah will be typing all of those links and helpful information in the chat box. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my speakers, and then we will be back to wrap it up and also talk about any other programs that were not discussed previously. So thank you very much, Assemblywoman, again, and I'm going to turn it over to my team. You're on mute, Janie. Thank you, Janie.
Got it. Thank you, Treasurer. Thank you, Assembly Member. I appreciate being here today and really appreciate including CalCap in the program so we can reach small businesses in your district. My name is Janie Davis, and I'm the Deputy Director of the California Pollution Control Financing Authority. And I'm here to talk about our CalCap program, which the Treasurer mentioned. We call it CalCap. It's the California Capital Access Program. And CalCap for short. Next slide, please. I provided an overview of our CalCap listing. I'm not going to go into detail about all of these programs today, but I do like to offer this the listing of the programs under our CalCap umbrella. The first one, and the one I'm going to focus on today, is the CalCap for Small Business program. And as you can see, it's perfect for working capital, startup costs, and other typical credit needs, including construction or renovation of buildings, or as businesses are dealing with needing to retrofit because of COVID. This is a great program for that. We have a collateral support program for businesses that have a different kind of credit enhancement need. And if they're just lacking the capital but have good credit, we have a collateral support program where we can offer a cash support to that. We also have a truck program where we provide a loan loss reserve program in coordination with the California Air Resources Board to get more clean trucks out on the road. Then we have a program, our electric vehicle charging station program, to help small businesses looking to install electric vehicle charging stations at their place of business or at multi-unit dwellings. So that one is to try to help get our air cleaner. We also have a program to help small businesses needing to make ADA improvements so that they can have accessibility to their place of business. And the final one I'm going to mention is our CalCap Seismic Safety Program to help small businesses finance seismic retrofits so that their buildings can be safe should there be an earthquake. Just kind of an overview of the loans that we've done in Contra Costa and Alameda. I checked back, and in 2020, we had 23 small business loans and 23 air resources truck loans in Contra Costa County. And in Alameda, we had 50 small business loans and 88 California Air Resources Board loans. So that's just kind of an overview of what we did in 2020, loans that were enrolled in our program. Next slide, please. Okay, this gives you an overview of what types of businesses or purposes are eligible for our CalCap loans. As I mentioned earlier, qualified business can be a startup, it can be a nonprofit with fewer than 500 employees. So that's a lot of small businesses out there. We only have a few restrictions on these loans. Depends on whether you're refinancing or not. Commercial real estate, you'd want to talk to the lender, but if the property is to be used for the operation of the business by the property owner, then it's a yes. But we don't do passive real estate transaction. We don't finance passive real estate transactions. And then as far as the sin and vice types of businesses, we don't do gambling or shooting ranges or adult entertainment, things like that. Next slide, please. To give you an overview of the CalCap for Small Business program, it's a loan loss reserve program that facilitates private loans to small businesses by providing loan loss reserve contributions in a loan loss reserve account. So if any of the businesses should make default on their loans, the lenders can then make themselves whole on the loans that they've enrolled in the program. The types of loans that we see are loans for land acquisitions, as I mentioned, startup cost, working capital, bridge loans if somebody's looking for an SBA loan or waiting for an SBA loan. We also do a lot of food trucks in this program. And we've seen that even more now that there's businesses that people have pivoted to having brick and mortar businesses to having food trucks. For the CalCap for Small Business, the maximum loan amount is $5 million, or the maximum loan that can be made in this program is $5 million, and $2.5 million can be enrolled in our program for loan loss reserve coverage. We do provide extra loan loss support for businesses in severely affected communities, and that includes businesses in areas that have areas of high unemployment and we've expanded that to include businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19. We just need them to give us an explanation of why. If it's been businesses slowed down, they've had to close. We have extended that. We're now, we expanded it back in March, and we've just expanded it again. So it's going to be expanded for another year. So extra support is available for those businesses. We work with a listing of participating lenders in each of our programs. And those lenders set the terms and conditions for all the loans that are made through the program. They use their own prudent underwriting policies, and the loans can be long-term or short-term or have variable rate. That's really something we leave up to the small business and the lender to negotiate. I provided a link here to our program page, which provides more detailed information on the CALCAP for Small Business program. And I've also provided a link to our lender list. And I encourage any small business that's looking to, that wants to look into more information on CALCAP for Small Business to reach out to those lenders. They're listed, we provide their contact information, and you can see what areas they're located in. Most of the lenders are statewide lenders though, so don't let that limit you to just those in your area. Next, I'm going to jump to the Collateral Support Program on the next slide. And the Collateral Support Program, as I mentioned, is a little bit different. It provides actual cash to cover the collateral shortfall for borrowers that might have good credit but just don't have the collateral they need. And again, I've listed the purposes that we often see. We see these for startup costs, construction or renovation, and again, bridge loans for permanent financing or working capital or equipment. These tend to be larger loans. The minimum is $50,000 and the maximum is $20 million for under collateralized loans. We also provide the additional cash support for loans that are green businesses or manufacturing loans, in addition to those that are severely affected communities, as I talked about before. The maximum collateral support we can provide on loans is $2.5 million. So you'll see these are larger loans than our other program, the CALCAP for Small Business. I have provided the link to our webpage here, and also a link to the lenders that are enrolled for our collateral support program. And you'll see there are different lenders in the collateral support program. There's some that are the same, but there are lenders that specialize in the collateral support program, and they're really good at helping the small businesses figure out which program is better for them. So I encourage you to reach out to them. My next slide is I provide a little bit more information here on contacting our CALCAP lenders. This is a page, I provided a link to our lender page and just a listing of the lenders in all of our programs. And I note that we are welcoming new lenders. If new lenders would like to enroll, we are welcoming new lenders. On the next page, on the next slide, I'm sorry, I provided some information on how lenders can enroll in the program. It's a one-page application. If there's a lender that a small business feels comfortable with that they've worked with, and they would like to have that lender reach out to us, we're happy to train new lenders. We're happy to explain our program and make this available to that lending institution as well. So I've provided those links for you here. And then next, I provided my contact information. Here's my email. Here's our CALCAP webpage. Please visit the webpage. And if you have any questions for CALCAP, I provided our email address here. We have staff. We're in the office, several of us, and we are answering questions from small businesses, and we're here to do that. If we don't have the program that works here, we will do what we can to provide resources to be able to help you. And here's our phone number. And I like to encourage people to follow our Twitter account. We also tweet out a lot of resources for small business, and it's a good place to check in. Thank you again very much for your time today. I know I went quick, but I provided some good links here to help you find more information about us. Take care. Thank you.
I think that's over to the CALCAP program. There we go. Well, let me start off today by thanking Treasurer Ma and Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan for the opportunity to speak today about the some of the programs that we offer through the California Alternative Energy and Advanced Transportation Financing Authority. This is going to be kind of an acronym-rich beginning to this presentation, so I apologize in advance for that. But we do utilize a lot of acronyms here. Hello, my name is David Gibbs. I'm the program manager overseeing design and implementation of the energy efficiency financing programs for the California Hub for Energy Efficiency Financing, which is also known as the CHIEF. And we'll talk more about one of the CHIEF financing pilots here in a minute. But the CHIEF is a division of the California Alternative Energy and Advanced Transportation Financing Authority, or CATFA. And CATFA is housed within the State Treasurer's Office under the leadership of Treasurer Ma. CATFA works collaboratively with public and private partners to provide innovative and effective financing solutions for California's industries, assisting in reducing the state's greenhouse gas emissions by increasing the development and deployment of renewable energy sources, energy efficiency, and advanced transportation and manufacturing technologies to reduce air pollution, to conserve energy and promote economic development and jobs here in the state of California. And today I'm going to talk about one of CATFA's programs that helps small businesses financially and supports a green economy. All right. The program I'd like to talk about today is our Small Business Energy Efficiency Financing Program. First of all, we are aware that small businesses right now have a lot of pressure on them, and energy efficiency is not necessarily what they're thinking about. However, for small businesses that need to replace their HVAC systems or water heating or lighting, doing so can help lower your operating costs. Through the Small Business Energy Efficiency Financing Program, businesses can access up to $5 million in financing with extended payment terms. Because our program provides finance companies with a credit enhancement, those finance companies are able to approve a very wide base of businesses, as well as provide better rates and terms than businesses would otherwise qualify for. And this can translate into lower interest rates and or longer repayment terms than our finance companies offer on the open market. And who's it for? It's for small businesses in your area who receive energy from PG&E. Both property owners and businesses who lease their space can qualify. Young or newer businesses with less established credit can also apply. And the program is open to cannabis growers and processors. They are also welcome to apply. And through the program, businesses can upgrade their entire property or finance a single piece of equipment. Measures include lighting, refrigeration, HVAC, food service equipment, and much more. Financing can also be combined with utility rebates and PG&E's 0% on-bill financing program. And on the right of the slide, you can see two examples of projects that have been financed through the program. One, a dairy in the San Joaquin Valley accessed $395,000 to replace and upgrade lighting and well pumps. And they also took advantage of rebates from PG&E, which resulted in savings to the customer. The other project is a bakery that accessed $145,000 to do duct sealing and replace hood vents. And they also included remodeling and took advantage of the ability to include some non-energy upgrades as well. If there are contractors listening who do energy efficiency retrofits or install energy efficiency measures, we'd love to have your participation in the program. We are always looking for new contractors to help partner with. The program has several finance companies to choose from who offer a variety of options for customers. And regardless of the finance company you choose, customers receive benefits that separate their SBF offering from what is normally available to the public. And as I mentioned earlier, some of those benefits include lower interest rates, longer payback periods, and offering financing to those businesses that would otherwise not qualify for financing. And if there are small businesses listening who need financing, or if you want more information about the Chief programs, you can visit us at gogreenfinancing.com. And there you'll see our finance companies listed and their offerings. The site also has a Spanish language translation feature if that's needed. And that concludes my portion of the presentation today. I would like to thank again Treasurer Ma and Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan for the opportunity to speak with you today. And now I will turn the floor over to Jonathan Herrera at CalSavers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. That was a great presentation. And thank you so much to our hosts for giving me the opportunity to spend some time with you folks this afternoon. I'm here from CalSavers. CalSavers is the state's new retirement savings program designed to create a path to retirement security for the millions of Californians who work for employers that do not offer a workplace-based retirement savings vehicle. And we're doing that by trying to address the access gap that exists in the state. The research shows that nearly half of Californians are currently projected to retire into economic hardship. And we believe that a key driver of that fact is that there's 7.5 million Californians who are going to work every day, playing by the rules like you and I, but don't have access to a payroll deduction savings program at work. But the research also shows that workers are 15 times more likely to be saving and be on a path towards retirement security if they have a way to save directly from their paycheck at work. So knowing that the best way to get folks saving and on a path towards retirement security is through the workplace, back in 2016, the legislature passed a bill, the Senate Bill 1234, was sponsored by former Senator Kevin De Leon, that created a new mandate for employers. And this is probably the most important takeaway from my presentation. And what that mandate says is that any business in the state of California, if you're not currently offering an employer-sponsored retirement vehicle, you're going to be required to register for CalSavers and facilitate our program for your employees. So what that means in real life is that you as an employer have the opportunity to go out on the private marketplace and find a qualified retirement plan and use that to help your employees save for their retirement, or you could register for CalSavers. And keep in mind that CalSavers is designed to be another alternative to the mandate. We're not the mandate itself. But the deadlines for compliance for this mandate roll out over the next couple of years based on the size of your business. We launched the program back in July of 2019, and when we opened it, it became open for all eligible employers. So when you see your deadline here, you don't necessarily have to wait for it. The first deadline for employers with more than 100 employees actually passed already. Any business with more than 100 employees should have registered for the program by September 30th of last year. So if we have any of you folks on the webinar today, please connect with us. I'll have some resources available for you in the coming slides. But let's get you on a path towards compliance. The next deadline actually comes up later this year. It's for businesses with more than 50 employees. You'll have until June 30th of 2021. And then the last deadline is for businesses with 5 or more employees. You have until June 30th of 2022. But again, let me emphasize, you do not have to wait for your registration deadline. Even if you have 5 or 6 employees, if you're interested in getting started and helping your employees save, we're ready to help you get started. In case we have any folks on the webinar that have less than 5 employees, keep in mind that it's based on the average number of employees that you report to EDD for the previous calendar year. That's how we determine eligibility. But if you're in that category, or you happen to be self-employed, a contractor, a gig worker, small businesses are not required to register. You're not subject to the mandate, but we did open the program for individual participation. So employees of the small businesses, or again, if you're self-employed, you're welcome to go to our website, calsavers.com, and set up your own account when you're ready. Just briefly, since I don't have the time to go into great detail on the program, let me talk a little bit about what we had in mind when we were designing the program for small businesses. One of the first things we did was reach out to small business owners to find out, what are the key hurdles that prevent small employers from offering an employer-sponsored retirement plan. And by and large, employers were citing the same three hurdles. They're difficult to maintain, they're expensive, and employers don't want to take on the fiduciary responsibility. So we've designed CalSavers to address all three of those things. We've tried to make it as easy as possible to facilitate. There are no fees for employers. And of course, because employers are not sponsoring the program, you're not fiduciaries of the program. That responsibility falls on the 9-member public board chaired by the state treasurer that I work for, and all of our relevant contractors that we work with to manage the program. So briefly, hopefully you'll see some evidence of the work that we put into creating the program to make it easy to facilitate. All employers have to do, if you decide to join CalSavers, is register by your state required deadline that I mentioned just a moment ago. Take a few minutes to set up your account, tell us a little bit about how you do your payroll and stuff like that, so we can help you get that set up. And then there's really only two ongoing responsibilities. You maintain a roster of your employees on the CalSavers employer portal, and then you'll submit employee contributions for those of your employees that decide to participate for each pay period as part of your existing payroll process. One of our early pilot employers said it best, when she had gone through her first few payrolls, she said, this is amazing because it's really, really low impact for me as an employer, but it's potentially huge impact for my employees, for my state, for getting them on a path towards retirement security. So again, I didn't have time to go into the details. We do have a lot of information available on our website. We have dedicated customer service lines for both employers and employees, available 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. So, and we do offer one-on-one support. When businesses register for CalSavers, they'll get automatic outreach from our employer onboarding team. We also have a 7-member field team of individuals based throughout the state who are available for one-on-one support for employers. But if this very brief presentation was hopefully enough to get you at least interested in the program, please do check out our website. We're doing at least 4 webinars per week where we go into detail. We show you some screens and talk about really what it means to facilitate the program and get your employees on a path towards retirement security. I will post the link to our webinar events page in the chat. So if you're interested, please check it out. But again, thank you very much for hearing about our program. And then I will turn it over to Chris Earl from GoBiz for his presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan, and good morning, everyone. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Chris Earl, the Southern California Regional Advisor for GoBiz Office of the Small Business Advocate. And let me get my slides up here in just a moment. All right. So on this next slide, I'll just briefly speak about the mission and the objectives of the office. And we're a bit of a smaller office within GoBiz. And so I just wanted to highlight our specific role within the grand scheme of things and what our priorities are. And I won't read this line by line, but just kind of paraphrase some of this for you. But our mission at the Cal OSBA office is to help support economic growth and innovation. And we do that by working to ensure that small businesses and startups have the resources and tools that they need to start, manage, and grow their businesses and be resilient. And I really want to emphasize the be resilient part of that as we've gone through this COVID pandemic over the last year plus. And so a lot of the resiliency is kind of what our work has been over the last year, months and days. And so moving into the next slide, I'll kind of touch on some of our programming and resources in our network from the statewide side. So here I just wanted to show you a visual of our statewide business center network, which contains we basically provide funding through our RFP process to fund a center of business networks who can provide access to capital training, one-on-one consulting, and webinars and training for small businesses. Obviously, most of this work has been done virtually since we've gone through the pandemic and the stay-at-home orders. But all things considered, once things are opened up again, these are our physical locations. And so I just wanted to provide you a visual of that and also know that there are people on the ground that are here to assist small businesses in all stages of their business, whether that's startup, going through trying to find access to capital, which is a very common issue for small businesses, and whether that's permitting or licensing or trying to find incentives for small businesses. So there's a whole host of resources and avenues that you can find support through the business network as well as through the GoBiz website. And so moving on to the next slide, I'll dive a little bit into some of the programs here. And I just also wanted to highlight that GoBiz, we as the Office of the Small Business Advocate, we are, I guess you would say, the principal advocate in the state on behalf of small businesses. So we represent their views and interests across the state government. And so we do a lot of coordination with our state partners and sister agencies across the state. And we just ensure that the content, information, and the support that's available to them helps them better navigate our resources, programs, and regulations. And so just definitely, want to emphasize that. And so, one of the things that and I'll touch on some of our state programs, and I'll dive into kind of the big one, which is our small business COVID relief program, which just concluded February the 8th. Round 2 did, and it provided grants up to $25K for eligible small businesses and nonprofits. And I'll dive a little bit more into that on the next slide, but I also wanted to highlight the CA Rebuilding Fund, which is a affordable loan program, and it provides also loan services for small businesses. So please visit the caloanfund.org site. And you don't need to write this down. I'll make the presentation shareable. And again, also working with our sister office within CalBiz. If you're familiar with our tax incentive programs and tax relief programs, our CalBiz office heads that program up, and so they're a really phenomenal team. And so if you're not aware of them, please definitely engage if it fits your business. And also just wanted to highlight some of the federal relief programs that are existing at this time. Obviously the SBA EIDL loans are available. We're waiting on pending news for federal relief. And also additional, I didn't want to skip over our state, our pending, I guess, vote, you could say, on Monday for additional funding in the upcoming budget. The governor originally proposed $575 million for small businesses to provide funding for continued rounds of this existing small business relief program. State legislature has, I believe, that number has been increased to $2 billion. So hopefully on Monday, we will receive some good news in terms of additional funding for small businesses. And so within that proposal, there is also additional funding set aside for startup businesses as well, which was not a part of this original allocation. So I definitely wanted to highlight that as well. So moving on to the next slide. So here at this small business relief grant program, just to kind of dive into some of the details there, the grant program provided funding for businesses in up to $25K. There were revenue caps in terms of the types of small businesses that were eligible. But I think that the goal of this program and kind of our thought in terms of being resilient or building this program as building a resilient California economy. Small businesses are our economic engine, and so this is why this program is so critical. And COVID-19 has really really forced us to be resilient and creative and forced us to come up with ways to do business, in spite of the situation that we're all in. So this team and our Cal OSBA team has just worked diligently to roll the program out. This program was rolled out pretty fast. And so I also wanted to highlight our statewide partner network, which consisted of our small business centers and our partner SBDCs, as well as our women's business center networks. In addition, there's over 500 partners across the state we worked with to provide support and resources for the small businesses during that program. And I definitely wanted to highlight them as well as Lendistry, who was awarded the award to disperse the grants as our intermediary. And they are a CDF5 mission lender. And so I just wanted to highlight our partners as part of that grant program, because it wouldn't have been possible to get this funding out to small businesses as quickly as we have without the support and the role that our partners played in that. So in this upcoming legislation, Governor Newsom has said this grant program isn't the end. It's a bridge to help millions of Californians whose dreams and livelihoods are on the line. And so just working with our legislature to develop more support for small businesses and nonprofits. And so that's where that additional funding derived. And so looking forward to Monday and seeing what happens there. And a few more key points I wanted to highlight about the office. Our office focuses on few key areas. One of our priority area is access to capital, or connections to capital for small businesses, whether that's federal relief, state programs. There's even grants for research type of funding as well. And so that's just a statewide, ongoing, thing that we do, is always trying to find ways to bridge the gap for businesses to find access to capital, no matter what their situation is. And then secondly, access to markets. And this is a really, really important one. And our areas of focus within the office are supply chains and procurement. And that's actually where my statewide focus is, in addition to my regional role with Southern California, as well as e-commerce and global trade. And so those are our primary focus areas when it comes to small businesses, in addition to engaging with the small businesses themselves and understanding their needs and understanding what the gaps are within our ecosystems to better serve and support their efforts going forward. And so moving on with the next slide, I'll be able to provide some more links and resources and some of our other initiatives. And getting into that is one of our existing initiatives that kicked off in 2020, which is our Get Digital California e-commerce initiative. This program or this initiative was developed to promote e-commerce adoption and build skills for our micro enterprises and small businesses to compete online. I think, assisting them with the development of boot camps and online tools and programming that will assist them with that transition into becoming mobile friendly, or adjusting or adopting e-commerce as part of their business model. And so those are some of the things that we've tried to do from our side to help these businesses be resilient through this COVID pandemic. And so that, combined with our grant program, are some of the more recent things that have been rolled out. But in addition to that, which I don't have a slide for, is we're focusing on a 2021 procurement initiative, which will help strengthen our supply chains within the state of California through corporate as well as governmental supply chains. So in addition to working with our state agencies and sister agencies, we'll be engaging with corporate partners and key industries to help with the growth and strengthening of our supply chains within California. And then moving on to our next slide is just wanted to provide some resources around disaster preparedness and resilience. And these are just links. And again, you don't have to write any of this down. The site is Outsmart Disaster, and it's a unique online tool that businesses can use to access their what's called the Resilient Business Challenge. And it's a five-step course that goes over topics such as the impacts of disruption and strengthening facilities. And basically this will walk you through each step and provide you with key information on, resiliency and preparedness. So it's a interactive process that helps the businesses go through the process of identifying and strengthening their business from a resiliency standpoint. And also our office coordinates with the Cal OES office and also our other state partners and agencies to ensure that our businesses have information and the resources they need. So I oftentimes interface with a lot of our small business liaisons throughout the different state agencies. And so our office is seen as a resource to kind of speak on behalf of small businesses if there are challenges or if there's gaps or if there's challenges or gaps that we feel warrant the need for policy development. We're on that side of the fence where we focus in ways that we can correct things through policy if that warrants that type of approach. And so definitely want to highlight the preparedness and resiliency effort because that's something that we push ongoing. And then I'll take you to my final slide here. And this page here is just wanted to list out some of our resources in terms of the Cal OSBA office. But bottom line, our office is here to be the voice of small business and provide information and resources to help them navigate the state offerings. If you like, you could take a screenshot here on this slide, no problem. But I'll definitely share these widely. And the governor's office Business and Economic Development's website is specifically built for business owners to find the resources they need. So, I would definitely use that one as like a hub link to kind of navigate where the type of resources you need. And I won't go through each of them, but each of these pages kind of direct you to different resources held through our office. And with that concludes my presentation. And I will turn it over to Fiona Ma for Q&A.
Thank you very much. Since we do have a little bit of time, I'm going to just touch on a couple of other resources and helpful information. Thank you, Chris, for your informative presentation. And of course, GoBiz is a great portal and the folks to contact. But there's also your local SBDCs, your small business development centers. These are offices located in all parts of California. They provide free consultation, free assistance. They are funded by the U.S. Small Business Administration as well as the state. So we encourage you to go to your local SBDC and ask for assistance. And also if you need further information about different resources. We also partner with the Small Business Majority. We've done at least 100 webinars with them, and they also have really great experts who can also help navigate you through this process. Chris talked a little bit about the Small Business Administration, and they've got a lot of programs that are available. And that website is sba.gov. The Paycheck Protection Program opened again on January 11th, 2021. So there is more money for business owners who need loans to keep their employees on their payroll. He also mentioned the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loans. This money would go to help working capital as well as operating expenses. That's my dog, sorry. Also, the U.S. Small Business Administration offers express bridge loans. This is $25,000 loans for those businesses that are already connected with a small business lender. They also have a debt relief for existing SBA loan borrowers. So if you're not able to make your loan payments, please contact them. And then coming soon will be the Shelter Venue Operators Grants. You must have been in operation as of February 29th, 2020, and you not have applied for a PPP or received a PPP on or after December 27, 2020. And these are for live venue operators, promoters, theatrical producers, live performance arts organizations, museums, zoos, aquariums, movie theaters, and talent reps. So this is coming soon, and we will let you know as soon as they're online. And again, I'm sure the Assemblywoman will talk a little bit about the relief program, but there should be $25,000 more in small business grants. I know there was a chat question in the Q&A, so there is more relief coming for small business owners. And then if you are a restaurant or bar, you will also be eligible for a 2-year fee waiver from the Alcohol Business Control Board, the ABC board. There's also a great public-private partnership website that that is available to you, and it's called onwardca.gov. If you need a job, if you've lost your job, you need some training or resources, and they are updated in real time. And I just checked, and there's many job opportunities that are listed there. If you still have not gotten your vaccine, your first vaccine, or your insurance company has not, contacted you yet, please feel free to check on the website myturn.ca.gov. And people have asked, well, I signed up and they're not allowing us to come in. As vaccines get to a certain region, city, county, then they open up the website for you to sign on. So you kind of have to just keep checking. There's no way to really put your name on a wait list, but you can maybe talk to your friends, have a network, and when they are able to log on, then you should be able to log on and get your appointment. It's very easy. I took my dad down to Moscone Center on Sunday, and it was easy, on time, quick, painless, and that website definitely is helpful. And for those of you that are applying or have been waiting to file your California taxes, the Form 540 tax booklets are up online right now. They had to make a couple of adjustments because of some of the federal laws and regulations that passed, but the 540 individual tax booklets are online. And if you need free tax help, the website to go to is www.myfreetaxes.org. And it's a collaboration between the Franchise Tax Board and the United Ways of California. So if you are a low-income family with children, please file your taxes. You can do it for free online and get back your Cal EITC. The state of California has put in more money for earned income tax credits so that working folks can get more money in their pocket and help them through this pandemic. So thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to speak. Thank you, Assemblywoman Bauer-Kahan, for co-hosting this event with us, and I hope this is useful. And again, if you have other questions, I saw in the chat people had questions, please email me at askfiona@treasurer.ca.gov. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Treasurer Ma. So I want to just add a few things. One is Treasurer Ma made a really important point about vaccination. As we know, that's how we're going to get our businesses back open and back to normal. So a couple of things. My Turn is activated in Alameda County for all 1B essential workers, and you will be able to make appointments for those Tri-Valley workers at the fairgrounds through My Turn. If you're a Stanford Health patient or a Sutter patient, you can use those systems. They're also at the fairgrounds, so that's how you easily get in. So if you're in that, I know if we have our small winery owners, your farm workers should get in there and get their vaccinations. We have a lot of critical workers who can access those vaccines right now. And for our Contra Costa folks, as of yesterday, those 1B essential workers became eligible. My Turn has not been updated. I'm being told it'll be updated tomorrow morning. So if you are a 1B essential worker in the food service industry, sign up on My Turn tomorrow, but you can sign up on the Contra Costa website today. So we want to make sure everyone who's eligible can get vaccinated as easily and smoothly as possible. So those are some avenues in. Also, you heard them talk about the important work that we are all doing together in Sacramento to support small businesses. We know this time has been incredibly hard for all of our small business owners. And in order to protect our communities and save lives, we've had to make some tough choices, but we want to make sure that we are here to support you through it and to get to recovery. You're one of our most important employers in the state, but you're also critical to our communities. So as you heard, we, the legislature, are taking a vote on Monday on a $2 billion deal that will reinstate those small business grants for up to $25,000. So someone had said they're gone. It's true, but as of Monday, hopefully they'll be back. I'm proud to co-author that. And I think we have a lot of support, and we'll see it fly through the legislature so that money is available again. And this is really helpful to know how to access it. Also, some other important relief, you heard Treasurer Ma talk about the licensing fees. So the state is going to, through the actions we'll take on Monday, hopefully, I guess I should fingers crossed because we haven't passed the bills, but relieve some of those licensing fees. You heard about restaurants and bars. I'll also add barbering and cosmetology. We're making sure that those of you that have struggled because you couldn't do haircuts and the services that keep your doors open, your fees will be relieved as well. Importantly, I want to also add that we have money coming in the budget that will create jobs. We know that unemployment has been difficult, so people are losing jobs, that many of you have probably had to cut back on your staff. And so we're looking at ways in the budget to create more jobs, to stimulate growth through grants to arts and education institutions and other workforce development measures. So we're here to support you. We understand how hard this has been. In addition, on Monday, we're going to take an action to provide a $600 one-time relief to families that get the earned income tax credit. So put more money in Californians' pockets. So hopefully that will help stimulate the economy as well. So we're doing what we can to help you. And I know that it will never be enough, but we are here and we're working hard. And I want to thank all of our partners today for providing the resources to access these really, really important measures that that you need. So I do see we have some more questions. It looks like we have a couple minutes. So let's see if we can get some of these answered. Somebody asked, this was a good question, was do you need a business license to get one of these business grants? They file a 1040C every year. I don't know if Chris or knows the answer to that.
Right. So to be considered an eligible business, you would need to be a licensed business or have at least a 1099 filing at the very least. So in your case, without the business license, I would go so far to say they would probably not deem you eligible in that scenario, but I would have you speak with the call center team on that one. That one's a little bit tricky. But yeah, I would say generally speaking, if you file a 1099 at the very least, and you are a registered business, you should be eligible for that program.
And it's easy to get a business license. You just go down to your local city and apply online. It's very, very easy. So business license is not difficult to get.
Absolutely. I was going to say, if you visit the business.ca.gov website, you can just find the nearest center closest to you and schedule a time to speak with an advisor, and they can get you set up and done pretty quickly with that process.
Thank you. Here's a question specific. Roy is asking about specific programs for orchestras, theater companies, and other live performance venues. I know Treasurer Ma, you mentioned a few. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, well, like again, you know, the IRS, just keep in touch with the Sheltered Venue Operators Grant. And also the state, hopefully on Monday, will also allocate another $50 million for cultural institutions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's little help is coming for the arts and entertainment industries.
Yeah, and I know Twitter is a great way to get sort of up to the minute answers on this. I know Treasurer Ma has a great Twitter, so yeah. You can follow her and she'll give you additional. Somebody had a question: if they established a business in January of 2020, are grants available to them?
Yes, so most grants are available for companies or nonprofits that were in existence as of January 1st or February 1st, 2020. So that is a requirement for some of the US Small Business Administration programs, as well as some of the other small business programs. So if you were out of business, you can't apply for these assistance programs, but these are really for those businesses who are struggling to keep their doors open, you know, trying to keep their employees on board. You know, they have their doors open, they're paying bills, so they need some operating expenses or working capital.
And as far as the Cal OSBA office with our grant program, I know that we did on the previous 2 grant rounds have a start date of June 1, 2019. And so I know that was a point of contention for some of our folks there. So I know with this, if you know everything goes well on Monday, we're looking at I would seem more likely to have that date pushed back to a later date for future rounds.
I need battery.
Awesome. Well, I think we're almost at time, but I know that Treasurer Ma provided her email for anyone who has additional questions, and she is very responsive. So do reach out to the State Treasurer's Office if you have any additional questions. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all of them today. That's always the case. But thank you for being here. Thank you, Treasurer Ma, for putting this together. Thank you to all the staff that works so hard to support our small businesses. And I'm going to turn it over to Treasurer Ma to close this out.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you for this opportunity. And, you know, if there's other people in the community that would like us to come and do a presentation, just please reach out to us. The more information that we can provide, the sooner we're all going to get out of this together. So thank you, Assemblywoman, for your leadership.
Thank you. And I will answer one last question that I saw, which is somebody wanted this recording for their friends and clients, and we will be emailing out the recording to all of the attendees and those who RSVP'd. So check for that in your inbox. Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye. Thank you.